For 40 days now. Yeah. I've been drunk for 325, so you do the math. But really, there's nothing funny about having a drinking problem. And I was confronted seriously by my friends and family recently, and they were worried about me and alcohol. And the thing of it is I didn't think I had a problem with alcohol. I drank as a solution to the problems that they were giving me in the first place. And really, I'm closer with booze than I am with my own friends and family in a lot of senses. My girl, Chardonnay, Svedka, and of course, the love of my life and the bane of my existence, Jack Daniels.
Yeah!
But no, honestly, the worst problem, I realized I had a problem when after I looked at my dietary plan, I was only consuming beverages that were coffee, diet soda, and straight alcohol, and no water. I was like, oh shit, so I have to reevaluate. So I've cut back, I've learned moderation, but the worst problem was the fighting. That's why I got in real trouble. I got a beer bottle broken across my face.
Whoa!
I knocked a couple dudes out, and actually, that's one of the reasons why I'm here instead of at the Laugh Factory, because I got kicked out of there for threatening a comedian with my chains that I happen to be wearing from our jewelry line, Tammy's, or yeah, I was there with my best friend Stacy Hall. I mean, Stacy bartender from the Hills. This comedian, Chris, you guys ever heard of Chris Frangina? Anyway, some ginger comedian. He was so bad, he had to dig out in the audience and grab her purse, and he decides it would be funny to start waving her tampon all across stage, and I was like, dude, honestly, I turned around, I saw that, and I booked it for the stage. I took off my chains, I wrapped them around my hand, and I was like, that is such a blatant disrespect, like, do you really suck that bad? You have to grab a tampon? It's your best material? Like, I know caught in the fabric of our lives, but come on, motherfucker. So anyway, I got escorted out and was crying outside for a minute, but if that guy, Chris Frangiola, you can mark my words, if you think this is over, you are sadly mistaken, because there is one thing that us girls have against guys that they will never be able to top. And it is the very thing that he violated my friend with. Tampons. I am going to give that freaking ginger exactly what he deserves with an albino bloody mouse slapped right upside his cheek. Whatever. Dudes, you know you can do it if you could. Guys are such fucking hypocrites because they get scared of periods because they don't know anything about it. It's scary, but it's like, if dudes had their periods, they'd be like, hit each other. I'm serious, like, they can never top you on that one. But that actually brings me to my biggest fear, and that's when Aunt Flo comes to town, and there might be a little leakage. I mean, it just depends on the technical factors of it. But that's always my biggest fear. I don't want to go to my friend's house, be hammered, and like pass out on the couch and for a couple hours extra than I was planning on initially. And have a little, I marked my territory after I was Baltimore, and they had this kid that picked me up from the airport for some appearance. I don't know why anybody would want me anywhere, but on the way to the airport when he was taking me back, I felt so bad. He'd asked me for like an autographed picture, and he was so sweet and like looked up to me and asked me all these questions about Hollywood. And halfway on the way, I was like, oh crap. Think the Red River's flowing? I was like, finally I just had to tell the kid, I was like, dude, we need to pull over to a gas station right now. And he was like, why? And I was like, I think I just fucking had an accident on your seat. And this is when I knew he was the biggest Phil ever, that's what we call the fans of the Hills. He said, well, that's fine, but do you think you could leave your initials in my seat? Yeah. But anyway, we got these really big fans of the show. I don't know, has anybody seen The Hills at all? I don't know why the fuck I ever agreed to be on that. That was the stupidest thing I've ever did. I can't even really mention it. I'm sure that I'll probably be subpoenaed tomorrow for even just saying the name, but it's like, what was I thinking? Like, that's like trying to go into Miss America and being like 500 pounds. I mean, all these girls on the covers of Maxim and shit, and I'm like the drunk, like flailing background, like, where's the club? Let's party! And so yeah, that does not make me look very good when it comes to editing time. But I've had a lot of fun with it. It's just different, you know. I come from Colorado. There's different standards there. Here, it's so ridiculous. The way people put pressure on image, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I come out here, the first questions I always get from girls, well, how long do you stay on the elliptical? My answer was, what the fuck is an elliptical? It sounds like something in orbit. What is that? And then they're like, so what exactly is your diet regimen? So I was like, shit, like I gotta get to work on this. I'm getting a lot of questions over here. So I go to the self-help section of the bookstore, and I find this book that says Make Peace with Food. We're still at fucking war. I don't think it's ever gonna get better, but anyway, I appreciate you guys having me there. AA didn't really work out for me. I went to a meeting, but the fact of the matter is I like to fucking drink, so love about the 12-step program, though, and now speaking to men's. I think that's really important in all of our relationships to always make sure you're on the up and up and you're improving, progressing. So I brought a lot of my friends here tonight, and it was actually for false motives because I just really wanted you all in the same room so I could just get all my amends out of the way in one fell swoop. So I'm sorry if I bled on your car seat or your bed. I'm sorry for getting in fights with your friends or getting in fights with you and punching you in the face, my dear friend. And mostly, more than anything, I'm sorry for all of the things in the future that are going to be inevitable. Thank you guys so much.